Right. Hello YouTube, this is the D.B.T Gamer Show. Episode 23. Now when I started high school, I started playing a very good collection of games. That collection of games was none other than the Zelda series. The Zelda series is probably my most favourite series of video games. The newest game, Zelda Phantom Hourglass, was quite enjoyable for me. So I thought I'd review it. Now when I first played Phantom Hourglass, I really liked it a lot, but when I looked into it and played it through for the second time, I found a few problems with the game. Now, before you start sending me your hate mail, saying that my reviews are a load of bullcrap and all that, hear me out, because I really like Phantom Hourglass, but there's quite a few problems with it. I mean, no game is perfect, and quite a lot of people on YouTube think this game's awesome. I think that too, but there's still a few problems with it. So, don't send me any hate mail. Anyway, let's get started on this review. Right. Okay, let's start off with story. The story for Zelda Phantom Hourglass is pretty good. Basically, this game begins straight after Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker on the GameCube. When you after you've saved Zelda from Ganondorf and all that in the Wind Waker, you get into Zelda Phantom Hourglass. The game starts off with this great legend of this ghost ship, and this ghost ship holds this massive treasure as far as I'm aware. And since Tetra is a pirate, she wants to go and find this treasure, of course. And as to say along the ocean in the very first cutscene, Tetra jumps off the ship and lands on the ghost ship. And the ghost ship sails away with her on it. Link tries jumping after her, but he's too late. And basically it's yours and Link's job to rescue Tetra from the ghost ship. But later on in the game, you find when you finally get to the ghost ship, Tetra's been turned to a stone, and she's been turned into a giant rock basically, and you have to find a way of turning her back into her former self. That's the basic storyline. Okay, the multiplayer in Zelda Phantom Hourglass, it's okay. It's okay, but it's just okay. I mean, I haven't really played that much of it, and it's alright. Okay, let's go to graphics. The graphics in Zelda Phantom Hourglass, they are pretty good. They're kind of in between Zelda the Wind Waker and Zelda the Ocarina of Time. Because, as you know, the Nintendo DS has just about 64-bit, the same bit as the Nintendo 64. So the graphics are pretty good. So they're good, but they're in some places, especially in the cutscenes, they're a little bit blocky. But that's not. I'm really not bothered about it because they're alright. The music for Zelda Phantom Hourglass is pretty good as well. So I don't think you'll get any problems with the music, so it's okay. Right. Let's go to levels next. In Zelda Phantom Hourglass, there are only 7 dungeons. Well, I say there's 7, but in a way there's only 6. One dungeon you have to go through about 7 or 8 times in the entire game. That dungeon is the Temple of the Ocean King. This dungeon, when you play the game, every time you complete a certain bit of the game, you have to go back into this dungeon and collect a certain item. So, there's only 7 dungeons, one which you have to go back into several times. Okay, the controls for Zelda Phantom Hourglass, it's all touch pen control, or the stylus control, or touchscreen. The controls are okay, but in my opinion, they need to be optional. As a kid, when I played Zelda games, controlling the Zelda games with the buttons was perfect. It was, it's my way. It was my way of playing Zelda games. Playing Zelda games with the stylus, I admit it's a very good idea. It's a pretty good way of controlling the game. But there's a few things that are quite difficult to do with the stylus. First things first, the roll. When I've been playing Zelda Phantom Hourglass, doing the roll move is kind of difficult. I've never actually got the roll to work properly. Most of the time when I do the roll, it's more of a fluke. Another problem with the controls is the shield. Getting the shield to work is quite difficult as well. But other than that, the controls are okay. Okay, next thing. Gameplay on Phantom Hourglass. Well, as most Zelda games, it's an adventure game, and the gameplay is pretty good. I really enjoy playing it, so I've got no problems with the gameplay. Alright, let's move on to the good stuff. Good stuff about Zelda Phantom Hourglass is, well, first things first, the ship. The ship's awesome in this game, because in Zelda the Wind Waker, the ship kinda sucked, because you needed wind to make it move, and even when you had enough wind, the ship moved terribly slowly. The ship moved a bit too slowly for my liking. I mean, getting from point A to point B took ages in the Wind Waker. But the ship in Phantom Hourglass is a heck of a lot better. It's got an engine. Thank God. Having the ship have an engine is a very, very good idea. And I like the ship in this game a heck of a lot better than I did in the Wind Waker. Right. Another good stuff about this game is the gameplay. Most Zelda games, apart from Zelda 2, have very good gameplay. And this is no exception. If you play Zelda before, you know what I'm talking about. This game is really, really good. The gameplay is like most Zelda games. You go through dungeons, find a weapon, destroy a boss, on to the next dungeon. Collecting several items along the way. Okay. The story! Another good thing about this game is definitely the story. I really like the story. And one of my favourite things about Zelda Phantom Hourglass is the note tool. Press the down button when you're in a dungeon. You can actually write stuff on the map to make notes, which is really useful when you're trying to remember a lot of stuff. Right. I'm very sorry, YouTube, but I've run out of time. So join me in part 2 of my Zelda Phantom Hourglass review, and I'll continue reviewing this game. So until then, bye-bye.